Greetings, food enthusiasts and curious minds. Welcome to our channel where we delve into the fascinating world of food, technology, and everything in between. Today, we're about to embark on an exciting journey into the future of food, a future that might just revolutionize the way we eat. Imagine a world where meat doesn't come from animals raised on farms, but is instead grown in a lab. Sounds like science fiction, right? But it's not. It's a reality that's closer than you might think. This is the world of lab-grown meat, a concept that has been making waves in the food industry in recent years. But what exactly is lab-grown meat? As the name suggests, it's meat that's grown from cells in a lab rather than harvested from animals. The origin of this idea traces back to the early 21st century, when scientists began to explore the idea of creating meat from cellular agriculture. The technology powering this concept is known as cell culture technology. It's a process that involves taking a small sample of animal cells, usually through a painless biopsy, providing these cells with nutrients, and then allowing them to grow and multiply. Over time, these cells develop into muscle tissue, which we recognize as meat. What's truly fascinating is that this process doesn't require the slaughter of any animals. Now, you might be asking, why do we need lab-grown meat? Well, the answer lies in the numerous benefits it offers. It has the potential to alleviate many of the environmental and ethical issues associated with conventional meat production, such as deforestation and animal welfare concerns. Moreover, it could also help meet the growing global demand for meat in a sustainable way. As we stand on the brink of this new frontier, one might wonder, what does lab-grown meat taste like? Stay tuned to find out. So, how does one grow meat in a lab? It sounds like a plot from a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? Well, it's not as far-fetched as it may seem. The process starts with something very small, a tiny sample of animal cells. Yes, that's right, the journey from petri dish to plate begins with just a few cells. The cells chosen for this process are usually muscle cells, as they are what primarily constitutes the meat that we're used to eating. But these cells alone aren't enough. They need nourishment, a kind of food that can help them grow and multiply. This is where the culture medium comes into play. It's a nutrient-rich bath that provides the cells with all the essential elements they need to develop. Imagine it as a high-tech version of the soil in which you'd plant a seed. In this culture medium, the cells begin to do what cells do best. They divide and multiply. But they're not just growing in a random, chaotic manner. No, they're developing into structured muscle tissue, the very thing that gives meat its texture and chewiness. Now, you may be picturing a slab of meat growing in a petri dish, but let's clear up that image. The process actually takes place in a bioreactor, a controlled environment that allows for optimal growth conditions. It's a bit like a high-tech greenhouse, where the cells can grow into tissue. And that tissue can mature into what we recognize as meat. And the best part, this process doesn't require raising and slaughtering animals. It bypasses the traditional model of meat production entirely, offering a potentially more sustainable and ethical alternative. It's a game changer, a new way of producing the foods we love without the environmental and ethical concerns associated with conventional meat production. With such promising technology, we're left to wonder, could this be the future staple? As we delve further into the world of lab-grown meat, we might just find that the answer is a resounding yes. Now, for the million-dollar question, how does it taste? Imagine biting into a juicy, perfectly cooked steak, the mouth-watering aroma, the tantalizing taste, the delectable texture. All an orchestra of sensory delights. Now imagine that this steak didn't come from a cow, but was instead grown in a lab. Could it possibly taste the same? The creators of lab-grown meat, or cultured meat as it's also known, have gone to great lengths to ensure it does. They've meticulously replicated the cellular structure of traditional meat, right down to the specific types and proportions of muscle and fat cells. The result? A product that not only looks and feels like meat but also tastes like it. But it's not just about replicating the taste and texture of traditional meat, it's about enhancing it. With lab-grown meat, we can control the types and amounts of fats. This means we can engineer meat to be healthier without compromising on taste. Imagine a world where your steak is not only succulent and flavorful but also perfectly balanced in its nutritional profile. We're talking about meat that's low in saturated fats, high in beneficial omega-3 fatty acids, and packed with essential vitamins and minerals. This isn't just a step forward in terms of animal welfare and environmental sustainability, it's a leap forward in nutritional science. But what about the texture? Can lab-grown meat really replicate the melt-in-your-mouth sensation we love so much? Early taste testers report that yes, indeed it can. The texture of lab-grown meat is remarkably similar to that of traditional meat. It's juicy, it's tender, and it's satisfyingly chewy. In the end, taste is subjective. What delights one person's palate might not satisfy another's, but the potential of lab-grown meat to closely mimic and even improve upon the taste and texture of traditional meat is undeniably exciting. So it seems like lab-grown meat has all the makings of a culinary revolution. As we explore the future of food, it's clear that lab-grown meat is more than just a science experiment. It's an innovation that could shape the way we eat, live, and interact with our planet. Imagine a world where our meat consumption doesn't cost the earth, where animals don't have to be sacrificed for our meals, and where the food we eat is healthier than ever before. These aren't just pipe dreams, they're the potential realities offered by lab-grown meat. This exciting frontier of food science could redefine sustainability, promote animal welfare, and revolutionize our health. The plates of tomorrow may look very different from today, thanks to the wonders of lab-grown meat. Thank you for joining us on this culinary journey into the future. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more intriguing content, and share your thoughts on lab-grown meat in the comments below. See you in the next video.